The storm outside was not merely rain, it was a bombardment. The old corrugated tin roof of the Chowdhury estate screamed under the assault of hail and wind. Inside, Anirban sat alone, the sole heir to a rotting kingdom of timber and dust. The electricity had died hours ago, leaving him with a single flickering kerosene lamp that cast long, dancing shadows against the peeling lime plaster of the walls. He had returned to claim the deed, but the house seemed to want to claim him instead. Driven by a strange draft that smelled of copper and stale earth, Anirban climbed the creaking wooden stairs to the attic. The draft wasn't coming from a window. It was leaking from a heavy iron-bound chest in the corner. The padlock was rusted through. With a heavy kick, the metal snapped. Inside, wrapped in moth-eaten velvet, lay a chisel. It was ancient, the handle made of black bone, the blade dull and stained with a rust that looked suspiciously dark. Beside it was a note in crumbling paper. To crave perfection is to carve away the humanity. Anirban picked up the chisel. It felt warm, pulsing. Suddenly, the silence of the attic was broken not by thunder, but by a wet, tearing sound coming from inside his own head. His left hand, seemingly moving of its own accord, raised the chisel. What is this? Anirban gasped, his voice trembling. He tried to drop the tool, but his fingers were locked in a rigor mortis grip around the bone handle. The lamp flickered violently. In the sullen dimness, he saw his reflection in a cracked mirror leaning against the wall. His face, it looked wrong. It looked too thick, too unrefined. Too much flesh, the voice whispered. It wasn't auditory. It vibrated through his teeth. Sculpt it. Reveal the skull. The skull is truth. No! Anirban screamed, grabbing his left wrist with his right hand, trying to wrench the chisel away. But his left arm possessed the strength of a hydraulic press. Slowly, inexorably, the rusty tip of the chisel brought itself to his cheekbone. The first cut was surgical. The pain was a blinding flash of white, hot agony. Anirban screamed, the sound drowned out by a clap of thunder. Blood, hot and salty, sprayed onto the dusty floorboards. He fell to his knees, sobbing, but his hand did not stop. It began to peel back the skin of his cheek like the rind of a fruit. Beautiful, the voice purred. More, the eyes interfere with the vision. Please, stop, Anirban begged, thrashing on the floor. He slammed his arm against the floorboard, trying to break his own bones to stop the movement. Crack! His radius snapped. The bone jutted out through his forearm skin, white and jagged. But the muscles didn't stop. Even with a broken arm, the hand held the chisel firmly. The pain of the broken arm merged with the agony of his face into a symphony of torture. He was weeping blood now. The chisel moved to his left eye socket. I don't want to see! I don't want to see! He babbled, insane with terror. Then you shall not, the voice agreed. The gouging began. It was wet, sloppy work now. The precision was gone, replaced by a frantic butchering hunger. Anirban's screams turned into gurgles as the blood filled his throat. He rolled onto his back, kicking his legs, his heels drumming a frantic rhythm of death on the floor. He realized with a final, shuddering clarity that he wasn't dying fast enough. The chisel was avoiding the arteries. It wanted him alive for the masterpiece. As the blade began to work on his lips, carving them away to reveal a permanent skeletal grin, Anirban's mind finally snapped. The horror was too absolute. The pain was too total. He started to laugh, a wet, bubbling laugh that mixed with the sound of tearing cartilage. He laughed as it carved. He laughed as the lightning flashed, illuminating a man, turning himself into a monster, piece by wet piece, in the dark attic of a house that had been waiting for him for 100 years. When the villagers found him 3 days later, the storm had passed. Anirban was sitting in the center of the room. The floor was a lake of dried black ichor. His face was gone, stripped entirely to the bone, polished and clean. But the chisel was clean. It sat on the velvet cloth, pristine, without a drop of blood on it. And Anirban, he was still breathing, and through the exposed teeth of his skull, he was still laughing.
The story ends here, but the fear remains. If you want to survive the night, hit that subscribe button. And remember, don't look under your bed tonight.